Howdy YouTube, Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Playhouse. Today we got a little visitor here at the Playhouse, and that's my Maddie May. You have to excuse her. You see the clock behind me, it's 11 o'clock. She just woke up. I got up at 8, and she did not want to get out of bed this morning, so we just left her in there, because she's kind of spoiled rotten. But she's Daddy's little girl. But I just wanted to show you she wanted to be on the camera shot. When she first wakes up, she wants some sugar from her daddy, so you can see her yawning. Don't do that. Don't act bored. Anyway, today on Unky Joe's Playhouse, we are going to cover part 3 of the virtual machine server that we created on the Dell R710. We're finishing up our testing today, and we're also going to cover a HP thin client here in some small detail. This video is not going to be real long. It's just, trying to finish up what I started. I have a meeting with the potential client on Friday to discuss actually getting this equipment purchased and how it'll benefit them and getting it ordered in. And then once they pull the trigger, then we'll do a whole series of videos on that server when it comes in and how we have to modify it and get it prepped. So kind of a long drawn out. I don't know whether this classifies as part of the Windows Lab series or not. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, I hope you're finding these videos informative and entertaining. And I've done enough talking for now. So let's get on with the video and show you the results of my last test. Right. You think it's about time we taught him? We showed him some stuff? Tell him? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. All right. So I'm going to put her down on her bed and get to editing this video. Alright, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, here we go. We got a server that is actually under load. I have created, as you know in my previous video, 10 Windows 10 Pro lab units and 5 Windows 7 Ultimate lab units. Now the 5 Windows 7 units are just booted into the operating system, but as you can see, the 10 Windows 10 units are all up and running. These two units right here and these two units right here and right here are just idle. They're just booted up to the operating system, but these units are up. They're running Office, all of the Office suite products, and they're streaming videos either through YouTube or Plex or whatever. And let's bring up our task manager, and you can see our CPU is being put through its paces. RAM is almost all the RAM is in use. We've only got about 2.2 gig left. Here's our Ethernet status, shared Ethernet, and then down here is our disk I/O running full blast. Now, so all of these Windows 10 machines, with the exception of 2, are streaming video, just to kind of give them a run for their money. And let me see if I can show you all the virtual machines that are running here. I don't know that I can. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sure there's a way to do that, but down on the taskbar, in fact, let's just do this. Here's one of them. Sorry, let me put that back up there. Here's one of the virtual machines that is running. Okay. Here's another one, and as you can see, it's got Word, PowerPoint, Publisher, Excel running, and I'm streaming a video on it. Here's another one, and it's running it's playing a Plex video. I can't show you much of that. Here's another one running a video on Plex. Same one running the same video on Plex. Let's see, 37. Here's another one running a YouTube video streaming. And finally, the last one is running another YouTube video, and of course it's running all the Office applications as well. So I wanted you to see that under stress, that this unit is keeping up quite well. Of course, that's what this Dell was designed to do. That's one of the reasons I got the server, was to eventually virtualize it. Now the client that I'm making this for, I've given them the little demo on it, and they're very pleased with it. So now I'm putting pen to paper, and I will present them with a with a proposal on Friday of getting this unit up and running. And we're going to have to do it here fairly soon because the next round of Windows 10 updates are probably not going to work on these 10 machines that this unit will be replacing. It'll be replacing 10 active units to start with, and then possibly as many as 20, depending on how much RAM they get on the server and what size hard drive. But there you go. So really it's, hello YouTube. So this is the HP-157, I think it is. Thin client for either Citrix, Hyper-V, or for VMware. And it's a little mini computer is all it is. You know, thin clients, don't be confused. Thin clients are just Windows or Linux PCs that have been shrunk down to a manageable size so they don't take up a lot of real estate on the desktop. And they are kind of designed to go onto the back of a monitor or under a desk somewhere just so you don't see them. There are no moving parts in this unit. We're going to rip into it here in a few minutes, but I just wanted to show you what it was like. And here it is up and running. And it is in a virtual machine, as you can see. It's running one of the virtual machines on that Dell lab that we set up. This is part of that series. So, yeah, nothing like being a narcissist and watching your own videos. And you can see in a windowed mode, the video playback performance is not too bad on a virtual machine. I wouldn't want to use it as my daily driver doing what I do, but for most people, virtual machines are going to be just fine for the corporate environment. And so let's flip it around here and see if I can do this without disconnecting it. And you'll see it's got some holes back here, and it's designed to go on the back of a monitor. And there's a mounting kit you can buy to where you can mount it on the back of your VESA mount on the back of your monitor. I won't be doing that. Now this unit has got a DVI port. It's got a SD card slot there. It's got a 10, 100, 1000 network card. It has USB 2 and USB 3 ports. It has a serial port on it, and then it has the old style connectors for keyboard, PS2 keyboard and mouse. And then of course it comes with a power brick, which is right there. I got this unit off of eBay. The guy wanted 39 bucks for it. I made him an offer of 35, and it included free shipping, so I think I got a hell of a deal. Now, the idea was to get some thin clients, and that this would make my life easier for my client, not having these big machines to manage. But the more I get into this thin client, the less I think I will use them, except to replace failing workstations, because I can do the same thing in a client side by simply taking an older unit, putting Windows 7 on it, and then the RDP client, or even putting some derivation of Linux or some derivation of a thin client. I have yet to find a good piece of thin client software. I'm still evaluating them. But we're going to tear into this unit so I can show you what it is on the inside. Now, these there are special features built into this HP thin client that I frankly just am never going to use. I mean, but for 35 bucks you can't go bad. They're running anywhere from 35 to about 50 bucks on eBay right now. And my client liked the price of them and said, you know, they might want to buy a couple more. But, you know, with eBay it's feast or famine. You either buy them or you lose out on them. So I think there were a lot of 10 of them up for sale on eBay for like 500 bucks, so we might grab those. I don't know yet. We'll see. But let's tear into this thing and see how it works. Alright, so we'll just let the camera run, and I'll just kind of dialogue this as we go. Let me see where my work area is. I want to make sure I don't go outside of my work area here. Okay, so we'll try to keep it right where it is. So I'm going to go ahead and just disconnect it. And I got my little dongle in there for the wireless mouse. Now on this side, it tells you to open it, to unlock it, you push it this way. To lock it, you push it that way. So you're supposed to push this down and then slide that piece off. and then it comes off just like that. We'll set that aside. And then this cover comes off like so. This cover lifts off like so. Very easy to get into these. And then once you lay it down, this is the back of the unit. Show you that in all of its glory. And then there's a latch. I don't know if you can see it. There's a latch right up here. And you just simply pull that up and take that off. And there is the unit itself. So let me move the camera and we'll get a little bit better close up here. So the processor is under this heatsink, processor and video. And then there's a copper heatsink, and that thing does get, it gets pretty warm. I'd say it's maybe about 100 degrees. There's the cooling fin here, and then on the underside of this metal cover is a little thermal transfer pad that transfers the heat up to this piece of metal here. It uses it as a heat sink. So the video is right here. The SD card slot is right there. The Ethernet port, then the two USB 2s, two USB 3s, serial port, and then the PS2 ports and a power. And it looks like it has an expansion port right there. What it's for, I don't know. It's got some sort of plug on the motherboard right here. This is a CMOS battery. Now this is the, for all intents and purposes, this is the SSD drive. Where's the RAM on this bad boy? Here's the wireless card right here. It's got a speaker built in. And this is the SSD drive. And the RAM, I can't find it. I don't see it. It has another connector here for SSD as well. It's both, or for serial ATA, I should say. So I don't know if you can see that or not if I hold that up. But this connector here is power and data for serial ATA. I don't know if the RAM is under this or if the RAM is on the other side of the board. There's another compartment right here. Let me show you that. So I don't know if this is where they keep the RAM. Yes, there's the RAM slots right there. So I believe you can expand this up to 4 GB of RAM. I don't know why you would need to, but I guess in some circumstances you might. And it's got the thermal tape on there to help the RAM dissipate the heat. This RAM doesn't get that warm. So it's basically a PC I picked up online for 35 bucks. It just happens to be running the thin client software from HP. That's the only difference. And then you get this little tag here that slides out, tells you the serial number and all that other good stuff. So you know, it's a thin client. What can I say about it? There's not much to say. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna get into the software on it or anything like that because I'm just not interested in it, in using that software. There's a better view of the back panel. And fairly simple to assemble and disassemble. And like I said, this is the hard drive. Now, this is I guess this is an early model. I don't know whether you'd call that an SSD drive or whether you'd call that a flash drive, because they limit the amount of writes you can have on here through software. They limit the amount of writing that happens to that flash drive. It's built into the thin client operating system. But you know, so there it is for those of you that wanted to see the unit apart, see what they look like. There you go. Let me give you a shot of the thin client screen. So basically it's running Windows 7 CE embedded, and all I did was create a little icon called Remote Desktop on the desktop, and then I've got Task Manager up just so we can see how it was running. It's got a couple of CPUs in it, and I think 2 gig of RAM. Not much, but it's all you need for a thin client. And thin clients, you know, 5-10 years ago were all the rage. Oh, everybody will be going to thin clients. Well, here we are 10 years later, and I'm just now taking a client to a thin client because they have certain needs, and virtual machines will fulfill them. So there's a display. I'm not going to go into the HP thin client software. I think it's a huge waste of my time. I don't have Citrix or VMware servers. And it really isn't, they really haven't optimized anything for Windows. It's kind of a clunky way of doing things. I'm real impressed by the thin client software, but it gets the job done. Well, there you go. I've now got all the machines built. We've been testing them for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days now. I'm going to continue testing them till I get about a week's worth of time on these virtual machines. And then I showed you the thin client from HP. The only advantage I see with the thin client is the cost. I can get the things from between 35 and 50 or 60 bucks a piece on eBay, but they're not any better or any easier to use than just an old PC running Windows 7 would be. They serve the same purpose, and my client has all their old Windows 7 licenses I could re-enable if I need to. I have looked at several different versions of thin client software, and none of them have the simplicity or the ease of just using a Windows machine running RDP to connect. And I could script those machines so that they automatically come in and they run the Windows RDP program. So then when a client or a user sits down to their PC, all they see is a login screen like they normally do, and bing bang boom, they're right into the virtual machine. So I really don't see the necessity of these thin client units. I mean, they're okay, but and to be fair to HP, I really haven't got into their HP setup on these thin clients. I've taught myself the basics of how to get in and out of them, but there's kind of some limiting factors on those things as well. So I didn't do a deep dive into these thin clients. I may or may not do a little more research on them and do another video. I just don't know if they're going to be that relevant to me. But I think what I'm going to do is the goal is to get most of these clients that my client is running that are running Windows 10 are running in 32-bit mode, and these are machines with only 2 gig of RAM. And as Microsoft adds more stuff to Windows 10, these machines are getting slower and slower and slower, and having more and more problems since they've been upgraded from Windows 7 now to Windows 10. The beauty of these virtual machines is they are clean installs of Windows 10. They all work. The search functions work. They haven't broken any other features. There's no old software on these machines that could cause trouble with the operating system. So I just think it's a better way to go to virtualize these things. And I think my client's going to agree. Like I said, we have a meeting on Friday to discuss, this Friday coming up, to discuss going ahead and getting the equipment in and what the benefits are going to be to them. And then we'll just keep their old Windows workstations. We'll just drop Windows 7 on them. It just takes a few minutes. And or we can leave Windows 10 on them and just make them dumb terminals. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever's easiest for myself and for the client. But I think they're going to be much happier with this setup than they would be spending $5,000 to $8,000 to upgrade, 10 PCs and try to get them up to the state of the art. This will give them a buffer to put some more money together and buy some more machines. Now, they have powerful enough machines. They have video graphic artists. They have web designers. They have some people that do, they have a whole print shop at this company. So they have people that have power user needs. They run Adobe products or whatever. And for those, we have still have physical machines. But I think in the long term, this is going to be the best solution for this client. Now, when I quoted this client, I quoted them enterprise level SSD drives from Samsung. I think they're about $314 a drive on Amazon. And they're 1 terabyte drives, and they are enterprise level. So they are the, I forget the name, the M whatever. They are, in fact, let me bring it up on the screen here. This is the drive that I've quoted them to put into there. And these are the Samsung PM863 960 gig 2.5 inch internal solid state drives. And these are truly, well, they don't tell you here. Let me see, what's the term I'm looking for? The M something. Anyway, these are enterprise level hard drives, so they should be able to stand up to the rigors of a virtual machine. Now, I've given my customer the option, let me come back to me. Now, I've given the customer the option of using standard Samsung SSD drives in this unit. They'll be mirrored, both the enterprise drives and the regular SSDs if they decide to go that route. And I've explained to the customer the differences between the two types of drives. And frankly, there's not a huge price difference between them. But if ultimately the customer makes a decision on what drives they want to go with, if they want to go with the lower cost drives, they realize they could fail sooner. If they want to go with the enterprise level drives, hopefully they'll get more life out of them. We shall see. So like I said, I'm meeting with the client on Friday. I'm going to present the proposal. We're going to talk about it. I think I've got a 95 to 100% chance of them accepting this proposal. They've been keen on virtualization for years, and they've used it before. And they have some staff members that work outside the office. So the other capability this gives us is to offer their outside staff members a computer to use that's on their network that has all the software they need. Even though they're temporary or contract labor employees, it's nice to have them a machine for them to connect up to running your software in order to get their work done. It just makes your life a whole lot easier. And then we're doing some voice over IP stuff with this client as well. So if and when the proposal is approved, I will show you the process of ordering the equipment in. Then we'll do some videos on putting the new controller in this machine, setting up the SSDs, loading the operating system. They're going to be running Windows Server 2012 R2 because that's what they have a license for. I don't see any need to put them on 2016 yet. 2012 will be around a long time, and it'll suit their needs. And we'll still be able to move virtual machines around and whatever else we need to do. So I think it's a good fit for them. So there you have it. We have completed the setup, and like I said, we presented the proposal to the customer, so we're ready to go. It's just a matter of waiting now and seeing what they decide to do. But we hope you found this series of videos entertaining and informative. The feedback on them has been excellent. We're getting a lot more comments in our comment section. I greatly appreciate you folks interacting with us on that and giving me your tips and pointers and your experiences. All that is helpful to me. So like I said, we hope you found the video entertaining and informative. Give us a thumbs up down below if you liked it. Leave your comments down in the comments section. We take PayPal, we take Patreon donations. The donations are greatly appreciated. They help keep the channel running. And I think that's it. Another shout out to Morton. Glad to hear you're feeling better. I've got a package here on a chair that's come in from Morton. We're going to be sending that on to him very shortly here, so he can do another wonderful video for you. And if you're not already a subscriber, go out and check My Playhouse out on YouTube. That's Morton's channel. He's over in Denmark, and he does some great videos. And he was the inspiration for this channel, so shout out to you, Morton. Anyway, thanks again for watching. We appreciate your patronage so much. And look forward to more great videos coming up and coming. And don't forget, we will see you on the other side.